Alright, so we are back here on our hole number 1, and we are going to be doing cart paths now. Cart paths are simple, yet they take a little bit of time. There's not really anything fun about doing the cart paths unless you can make it fun by like adding in design and funny little things like that. So what you want to do to start placing your cart paths, you want to come down here to edit holes, come up here to create surfaces, come down to cart path. You have cart path 1 and 3. All this is different textures of cart path. I like to select cart path 1. Make sure your path width is 0. This will make it about the width of a cart on the cart path. And come up here to spline. Now what you want to do is you want to come to wherever you want the start of your cart path. Now I'm going to have my clubhouse over here, so I kind of want to have the cart path kind of running out here up to here. So I'm just going to start right here because I'm going to have to redo this whole area since it's the clubhouse, so right here is fine. And we can see our width of our cart path starting to get drawn out. And just kind of draw and bring it up close to your tee boxes. I'm going to bring it out wide here around this little valley that we have. Bring it up beside. And we're going to bring it down closer to the hole. Actually, you know, I'll do it like this. I'll come down, back up. And I'll come down here, back up. This isn't a typical way of doing it. I just didn't want to have my cart path right next to my hole. Come back up, around, come back down there, come back around, and bring it up next to our green, and then run it up towards our next hole. Now, what in the fuck just happened there? I filled the cart path. How nice. So I'll come over here. If this happens to you, select cart path, edit, and see down here where it says filled. You don't want this to be filled. You want it to be opened. Easy little fix right there. So once it's open, you get your cart path running along the edge, and your next step is the flatten tool. So come here to sculpt, landscape tools, landscape flatten, and I think I'm going to start up here near the green because I think that'll be easier. And here we go on your flatten session. You will be flattening the entirety of the cart path. So I'm going to start right here, right by the fairway. And the easiest way to flatten is just to click and then move up a little bit, click again, move up a little bit, click again, and just kind of do that to flatten it out. You'll have these little bitty raises in there every now and again. They're fine as long as they're not super jagged. Right here, I'm going to start at the top and work my way down to try to make a smooth slope. I'll get into how to make smooth slopes later on in some of my more advanced videos because it's an advanced thing to learn how to do it correctly. But for now, just come in here and flatten your cart paths. It's easier to flatten if you're using larger shapes. Like if you made this really large, it's a lot easier to flatten, but obviously it's going to be kind of messing with your terrain around it. Sometimes with the cart path you can't be doing that, so using these smaller shapes or these smaller sizes can be very, very helpful. So I'm going to bring it around, and as you can see right here, we got a pretty big little slope. Now if I use that little flattening tactic I was telling you about, pretty simple. All you do is flatten and then move up to where the slope starts a little bit and move up the slope a little bit, up the slope a little bit, up the slope a little bit, up slope a little bit, and you get a smooth little transition right here. I'm going to do this all the way up all of this. And this, as I was saying, it does take a little bit of time to go around and flatten everything, but it is definitely worth it in the end when you get to see the final product, get to see how good everything looks. Come down here to this, flatten that out. And I'm going to have to make another little rise here up. And I think that should be fine. Come over here to this. Just do larger flattens over here just because I'm not bothered with it. Come down here to this little valley. Flatten that. Flatten, 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 flatten. And we're going to take it back this way. There's not really a lot of commentary you can do on this part. It's just something you're going to have to do every time you place cart paths. Now, one thing I like to do when I'm up by the tee boxes is I like to make the cart path even with my tee box. So I'll come over here and I'll flatten, 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 flatten over here, and I'll move a little bit this way, flatten, move a little bit this way, flatten, and that makes the cart path even with our tee boxes. So I'll probably do that on all three of these right here just to make them even. Now we've got a larger slope up here that we don't really want, so I'm going to come in here with a smaller shape and I'm going to smooth it out a little bit. Not a lot, just a little. That gives us a smooth little slope. And we now have our cart path for the entire hole. And just to show you real quick, I'm going to play test the hole and kind of see what it looks like. Your play test is this little play button down here. Play test, come over here to where it says tee. You want to go to your back tee. And then just play hole number 1. I'm gonna just kind of play test it and see how it's working right now. It's a strong little hybrid down here to this little layup zone. Short, you can't leave it back this far. You're going to be blocked out by the tree, so you do have to play with the bunkers and be a little bit dangerous here, which I do like. So I'm going to add a lot of curve into this one because I think that's going to be the best play for this hole. Is a draw. Not if you hit it like that. It still might work out though. Now we got a nice little one on the fairway, and we have an easier little approach shot here to a tiny green. And almost got it in there. And congratulations, you have just now finished your first hole. At least the bare bones of your first hole. There's still a lot of decorating and little things to do. But your course, your first hole is now officially playable. It should be. If you have any more questions on how to do your first hole, just ask me. Because there are a lot of little things in this game that I'm sure I probably blew over just because I've been doing it for so long. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get on to the next video now.